It's me, Cappy. My mommy is the best. Superman will be next. She helps mommy. It looks smiles back. Your dick goes back. And this part go back. You wait for the straw. Brush. Get ready for Pet Super's ugly. Pet Super's glad.
Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of Healing for the Soul podcast, with this being season number 6, episode number 14. If you are ever looking for a virtual assistant who can edit your social media content, grow your social medias, book clients, and much more that all businesses require, I highly recommend Sphere Rocket for all your virtual assistant needs. The link to Sphere Rocket is at the bottom of this episode. And before we get started, I'm your host, Robin Stoltman, and every week I feature different guests to help you become the best version of yourself through different methods you may not have heard of or thought of. So make sure to subscribe and keep coming back for more. And today I have my guest, Sharon Rudolph, and she is on the show talking about feeling invisible and having mental strength. So let's get started. Thank you so much, Sharon, for being here with our audience today.
Well, I'm looking forward to this. This should be fun. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So what exactly is it that you do to help people not feel invisible and have that mental strength?
Well, I wanted to be invisible at a very young age, actually. I was probably 6 or 8 years old when I wanted to be not seen unless I want, for fear of being a victim to the sexual abuse that was going on in my home. And it wasn't until, all through my career, I had this underlying kind of gut feeling in the bottom of my stomach that I really wasn't being seen and heard and valued for who I really was. And yet I didn't know how to explain or tell somebody about it. But I was a behavioral scientist in my career and empowering people and being a facilitator for their success. And when I retired, the first thing we did was learn how to write our essence statement. And in fact, I was telling Robin how I took this hat to school the very second day of class. And I had told the class that I had told my girlfriend that the next weekend I was probably going to wear a hat to her birthday party. And she kind of put me down a little bit because she says, yeah, it'll probably be just you and, maybe my sister too. Were there 3 or 4 of us that wore a hat? But when I took the hat in the next weekend to class, they invited me to bring it. And I didn't bring just one hat. I brought 4 or 5. I've got a little collection. And as at each break, I'd put on my different hat for as people were coming back from the break. And I gradually kind of realized that there was something about these hats that wanted to be seen. I wanted to be seen. And they laughed along with me and kind of accepted who I was because they didn't really know me. But about 3-4 months later, I actually got in the mail the result of a profile that I had filled out about the same time that I retired. And it came back, and I was sure it was wrong. I love profiles, but this one said that called me an influencer. No. That there's an error here. That's not me. And yet, I had a call maybe 3-4 weeks later from New York about being a guest on a podcast. And they said, we think you have something to say and it's worth, you have some energy and vitality and we'd like you to be our guest. So I thought, well, influencer, maybe, you have to take baby steps sometimes to check things out. And I thought, well, we can try it, and they came back after the podcast and like the same day and said, yeah, we see that you're worth listening to and you've got energy and people will like listening to you. And they talked me into having my own podcast. And you're kind of stumbling as you go, learning as you go. And yet I had some great guests on. My last one was I asked maybe 10 people, who do you know who can be a guest on my show to talk about courage? Asking that many people and not having an answer there's a problem here. And the guy that I finally was able to interview was amazing. He was a pastor. He was a conductor on a train for people going across Chicago, Montana, and all that. And fascinating. He just knows so many things. And I had lunch with him before Thanksgiving, and he's still interesting. But anyway, I was surprised I became curious about what was there about the hats that was important to me. And what seemed to bubble up was my desire to actually be my real self, my being kind of tethered and closed down and not a lot of confidence. I did take Dale Carnegie courses and Toastmasters, so there was something that I was grooming there with those training, but I, in fact, used my own initiative. It wasn't something I had to go to. So where you take initiative matters. It's flowing from you. And you do it if you weren't paid or whether you were paid or not. So I think the hats were opening a treasure box to a secret that I wasn't aware of being hidden inside, that in fact, when it came into full expression, it would be part of my identity, like my hat is an identity.
No, I love that, because I know for a while I was wearing crowns. I got a little crown and I was wearing it, and then I'm like, well, to me it was to help me remind myself of whose I am, because I know that I'm a child of God, and I'm like, I've got all the glory, all the power right there because it comes directly from him. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I don't need my crown, but to wear it all the time. And and then I'm like, when listening to what you were saying, I'm like, yeah, that is at this exact same time to be seen. Because like I have, like, in my mind, when I'm thinking about me being a speaker all the time on stages, I'm like, I want to be the sparkliest, most shining one out of the entire room. Like, that's who I want to be. I definitely want to be seen. So I definitely understand with the hat there of what you're talking about, to be seen at the same time of what that's like.
Yeah, I
That
had
aha
somebody.
moment.
Yeah, I had somebody ask me. I was looking at this company to bring him on as a CEO for me because I was getting so overwhelmed with all the things and with technology and AI and everything changing. But he asked me a question nobody had ever asked me before. It's like, a lot of people feel nervous and opposed strongly to being a speaker on stage. And he says, how do you feel when you're a speaker? I'm just doing my job.
I feel alive. That's why I brought the podcast back. I'm just saying, it was one of those things that, yeah, I'm an I as well on the DISC scale. I knew exactly what you were talking about for I, for the influencer. There's only 11% of the population that is an influencer.
Wow. So we need to speak up. They're hungry to hear us.
Yes, they definitely are. That is for sure. Because the eyes, we got that ability that the other ones don't. We can get lost in we got the ability to talk to everybody. We love people. I'm just saying, we have that ability.
Yeah, and I'm still working on that, loving people, because I was for years I longed to be cherished until one day I realized I could cherish myself.
That makes sense.
That was a big aha. And another big aha, I've always been overweight. I was big as a first grader, and when I started saying I'm doing the best I know how, what a change that made, because it took all that judging of, needing to be better and just I'm doing what I know to do the best of my ability. And the same way with our parents who are less than perfect, So,
No, I was thinking about, that's what I was saying earlier to myself. I'm like, I'm doing the best I can with what I've got.
mm-hmm.
It's like
And
you start coming to that realization, and at the same time, it builds that mental strength as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me tell you how I learned mental strength. I had gotten transferred with my job. I had actually had a sense for 2 or 3 years that I would be leaving the Seattle area. And I also felt I had this sense of being a newborn baby, kind of like I was in the arms of God. And he was going to teach me something about love. And so when I got to Tampa, Florida with a job transfer, I knew maybe 3 or 4 people from Seattle that had gotten transferred down there, but I didn't see them very often, maybe in the lunchroom, and so my friends up here, before I left in the goodbye party, they said, one of them said, well, before you turn around and decide to come home because you're homesick, give yourself 6 months. And 3 months, I thought, I got this. This is going good. I got it. I got a handle on this. But then by the 4th month, I had hit a wall. And I was getting kind of despondent and not confident, not capable, kind of bouncing off the wall. So I don't know why, but I picked up my Bible concordance and kind of started thumbing through it. And I thought, okay, well, courage might be a good word to check out, And I found like 6 or 8 references in Joshua chapter 1 and 2 on courage. Do not be afraid. Be of courage. Be of strong courage. I will be with you wherever you go. And a couple days later, I stomped my foot and said, I refuse to live my life based on fear. And during this time of setting up in my business, trying to be seen, there's all kinds of reasons to be fearful, but there's kind of an interesting book on that has a lot about fear, and it was a Napoleon Hill book. You familiar with Napoleon Hill?
Yes, I love his book that not The Science of Getting Rich. That's Wallace D. Waddles. His is Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah. Okay. There's one that was locked away for 70 years.
Outwitting the Devil. That book was like, whoa. When I read that book, I was like, no wonder why his family did not want it published. Like, it made sense. And then he was talking about the hypnotic swing that people are in. And I'm like, because I'm a hypnotherapist by trade, went to school for it. So I understand why people do what they do and how they do what they do. And his books, both of them, are extremely accurate. And it's been how many years? The human mind, what we do and why we do it, has not changed at all.
Yeah.
None of that has changed.
Technology
Technology has grown faster than we have.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and people who don't do their own thinking.
Yes.
So, yeah. The drifters, as he called it. So I that ever since, and in fact, it's not easy to change your living by fear. So I made myself a visual aid.
I love it.
I imagined it 4 inches from my nose to not be fearful. Stop. And there's times in the last 5 years, logic would say you should be fearful, but nope. Even insurance, I hate it when people try to sell me insurance, because that's based on fear.
It is. I had one lady, I'm like, you're talking to a hypnotherapist. She didn't know that, but she's like, well, you're going to need cancer insurance when you get it. And I was like, I'm not going to get it. I'm not stupid. I know how to prevent it. I know what it's caused by. Less than 1% of all cancers are actual genetic. Like, less than 1 of them are. The rest of them is all how you take care of yourself, what you're surrounding yourself around, what chemicals are you putting in your body, what are you exposing yourself to. That's where it really comes from.
Well, so
And
back
like
when
the
I was,
medications and all that too.
yeah, I was about 22, 24 years old when I was working second shift at the bank downtown, and the flu was going around. I think it was September, October, something like that. And I started getting nauseous, and I let it go for about 10 minutes, and then I said, shoo, shoo, go bother somebody else. And it did. So, come COVID vaccine, all that fear about COVID. I never had the shot. I never got sick. I never was tested. You know, the most I had was a 3-day cold.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because, yeah, I didn't buy into that stuff either. I was like, there was a lot of people who did, though. And that was the drifters. That was seriously all the drifters.
Or people, sometimes that was people who felt cornered in order to keep their job, too.
Well, yeah, and that's part of being a drifter, though, too, is that they just wanted, they didn't have the backbone to stand up.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's the way that I was looking at it as when it was all going on. I'm like, that was the easiest way to tell who the real healers are, who are the strong ones that know their strength versus the ones that are like, okay, I'll go do it. I would never do that for a job. That's just me, though. You know.
So let's talk about loving ourselves.
Yes, that's part of something that we all need to do, is self-love.
Yeah, so being self-compassionate, self-aware, what would be another word? I talked this morning on, do I have my, no, I don't, I think I closed my document on that, but the being kind to yourself is a great place to start, and gratitude for yourself. What I do, I'm working with a hypnotherapist right now, in fact, but what I do is in fact, this is a good testimony about how to fall asleep and get a good sleep, is I pray for 20 people as I'm going to sleep, as I'm in bed. And before I get out of bed, I pray for the same 20 people. And I sleep really well. And, but let's see, what was I going to say about, about loving yourself is I've imagined, what if I had been, they say people who have had near-death experiences that the air in heaven is thick with love. And how could I possibly try to love myself like God loves me? And, I want it to permeate, every cell in my body, and that beauty and this fragrance. And I hear that flowers sing to us, and there's colors we haven't even imagined. And let's start with loving ourselves from that thick atmosphere of love in heaven. And again, appreciate. So what I do is teach people how to define their soul. You know what God put inside of you for personality and your talents and skills and your values and your hot buttons, what matters to you. We roll that all up into a metaphor, kind of like a parable story. And then that becomes, we can live from that strength and knowing who we are.
I love that, because that is very true. And being able to come from that place instead of the scared and the fear place that we were talking about, that's what gives us that mental strength. And then, of course, at the same time, learning from other people of what not to do, and what to do. You learn both from both sets, because when you're talking about it is very, the parables are the best way to actually try to teach anybody. So I understand why Jesus did it, because he told all the stories, and some people just didn't get it yet. But I mean, I've even gone back to them myself continuously, because I read the Bible every day. But I'm just like, you look at the stories, and it's like he had to keep telling people, and they keep asking questions. And it's like what you're talking about. You're getting that mental strength, that mental clarity, and you're also getting that ability to keep going at the same time through those stories of loving yourself.
So my course for teaching you how to discover your spark, rekindle your joy, is available on the Great Discovery platform. You can either look for it by my name or by the course, Discover Your Spark, Rekindle Your Joy. It's 5 modules. It's priceless if you ask me, but it will help you learn to appreciate who you are. And my parable, my spark starts out with, I am precious jewel of wisdom. I am colorful collaborator, motivator, and learner. I am tranquil, authentic, and pure inspire. I light fires. I'm here to light your fire.
I love it. It's beautiful.
Well, and it's amazing how many people I've had get goosebumps from hearing that. That's how much it resonates with our spirits.
Yeah. And that is amazing, you know, at the same time, is because it's when you're in that, and when you slowed it down like you did, it sank in even more, which was nice.
Yeah, because it's new way of expression.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, I need to scoot because I have someone waiting for me, but let's do it again, Robin.
Yes, and I just want to thank our audience as well for being on this podcast today, as well as Sharon for being on the podcast for Healing for the Soul. And be sure to subscribe and share the Healing for the Soul podcast with everyone you know. And I encourage you to follow me, Robin Stoltman, on social media, and my guest, Sharon Rudolph, as well. You said the Great Discovery, and then where's the other audience platforms they can get in contact with you with?
Well, I am on Facebook and LinkedIn. It's ROLPH, Rolf. And I'm on Instagram as Sharon _Queen of Courage.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sharon. I appreciate your time and energy, and as well as our guests.
Thanks for having me. It's a delight.
That's all good now, friends. Make sure you for fun. Tap that follow button to subscribe. Quack, quack. Bye-bye. Well, next time. Now we will be gathered.